100%. But yeah, I'm on the uptick. So
Sounds good. Well, just kind of want to introduce a little bit what I've been doing here for close to 2 months now. I have a pretty big following here on Instagram, and I decided, to kind of give back to my community here in Southwest Florida. And I thought the way that I could do that is by having these live videos with business owners like yourselves, where, I can kind of allow you guys to showcase your products, your services a little bit in hopes that, people get into your business and generates a little bit more business for you, right? So my goal is, if I am able to do these videos and get $1 extra in your pocket because something came out of the video, then it's a success already, right?
sure.
So
Well,
that's
thanks for having us.
thanks for joining me. So I've been doing, it's been pretty great. A lot of positive feedback, so I'm really excited. And but that's enough about me. I wanted to ask you guys to kind of introduce yourselves a little bit and tell us who Danae and Matt are.
Yeah, well, I'll let Danae go first.
All right. I'm Danae. I'm one of the owners. We moved to Naples in 2015. Well, Naples area, actually, Ave Maria specifically, which has been amazing, a real blessing. We moved out here because of Matt's job. He worked for the Park Service, and I did some marketing and, worked over just doing different things, customer service type jobs, managed jobs. And sorry, I keep cutting Matt's face off. I feel bad. And we love Ave Maria. Tell them about you.
I'm Matt, Danae's husband, and like she said, my work brought us to the area originally, and we're Florida natives. We're from Tampa originally. Well, I was born there. She's from out west, but moved to Tampa at a young age. But anyways, we were trying to get back to Florida and had the opportunity with my old job and got to the area. Knew it was somewhere we really loved and wanted to stay and let our kids get through high school and everything. So right time, right place, and we moved forward with the business, and kind of the rest is history.
Awesome. Well, so you kind of told us how you got down to Ave Maria a little bit, and I'll have you guys talk about a little bit about Ave Maria too, because I've been there a couple of times only, but it's a pretty interesting, pretty neat place. So I don't think a lot of people have been there, or the ones that have. People watching might not have been there, so I'll let you guys talk a little bit about Ave Maria after. But before, I wanted to ask, how did you guys come up with the idea of opening up a brewery, and what was the concept behind it? What did you want to accomplish when you first thought, hey, I'm going to open this up, right?
Well, so I guess I can talk on that a little bit. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. I've been into craft beer. I've done a little bit of home brewing with kits and stuff like that. Nothing real serious like some of the other folks you see out. But I'd been into beer kind of from the early onset of the kind of craft beer revolution as it was starting, and really loved it. Loved going to breweries and cool tap houses. Liked places that had a lot of beer available on draft, and I always thought it would be cool to have something like that in the right area to fill that need for other people like me. And I like the tap room atmosphere, that you kind of get that brewery tap house feel. Initially, we didn't have a brewery, and didn't initially plan to either. And that just kind of organically came about later on. But like I said, being in Ave Maria, it was kind of the right place, right time, and it felt like it was a town that was growing, and there was nothing like what we were thinking about doing there, and that's what made us kind of decide that this was the place, and let's move forward with the business. And my folks, my mom and dad, they'd known too. We talked about doing it for a long time. And my stepdad was kind of getting into beer and stuff too. And he said, man, this would be a perfect time to do your business idea. So they kind of pushed us and helped us out a little bit. And then we opened up in 2017.
Yeah.
So. Very nice. So it was kind of like a hobby turned into a business almost.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. And obviously, as you mentioned, this is something that has kind of been taken off. There's a lot of, craft beer, a lot of breweries out there, and even in our areas, there's different ones. What would you say that, you'll try to do a little bit different to kind of attract people up? Obviously, when you're in the area and you're sort of the only one in that area, it's easier, right, for people that are in the area to go to you. But you are, you know, I've been there a couple times. You're attracting people from Naples, right? Like you're attracting people from different areas too. What do you think it's kind of setting you apart to be able to attract those people as well?
You know, I think one thing that's been good for us is so we recently opened the brewery, and so we have a small system. We do a few of our own beers, but we've got 20 different draft lines, and we're never going to fill them all up with our own beer. So I try kind of hard to find unique beers that just aren't available at other places.
Yeah.
I have a couple of boutique kind of distributors that a lot of folks don't have, and it carries some kind of hard to find brands. That's one thing. I also try to focus. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but I really try to focus on getting a lot of our other local breweries in Southwest Florida on draft. So we're kind of a one-stop shop. You can try our stuff, try stuff from around the country or from other breweries in Florida, and also get some of the, try some of the beers from possibly Momentum or Bonehook or Palm City, guys like that. So I think that's one thing. We're kind of gives people the opportunity to try a little bit of everything. And then we also do cans and packaged goods out the door, and wine and cider and different things like that. People love the ciders that we get. So I think that, and really just good customer service. I mean, not that, I mean, a lot of the breweries in the area have great customer service too, but we've got a real family feel, to our place. And a lot of folks describe us as the area cheers, for, and we really develop relationships with people that visit us, and
It's turned into family.
Yeah.
All of our customers are family.
That's awesome. Well, I wanted to, talk about the real product now. So talk about the beers a little bit. And if you can kind of, I know, like you said, it's, constantly changing and you're trying to have, but you must have some specialties that you have it all the time, or right. And I was kind of hoping that you could kind of walk through them right now and give us a little bit more information on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
I'm going to take over a little bit. Okay. Go ahead. You want to do him? He's the specialist in the beer.
So we've got our draft lineup rotates all the time. A lot of people have dedicated lines, and we have the same beers on. You could walk in tomorrow and have a few beers off our draft, or get a crowler or a growler to go, and then come in 3 days later, and that it could look totally different. The menu could be completely different. Which that kind of, in that respect, is a lot of the reason that attracts people to us too. Just that they have the opportunity to try a lot of different stuff, because our taps are always rotating. So right now, we've got of our own. We've got our porter on, and we just tapped our oil well IPA, and that's done in-house in our location. These are some of the first beers we've done. We've so far had an amber ale out, a pale ale. And our porter was next up, and we just tapped the day before yesterday our oil well IPA, which Bonehook Brewing was actually doing for us under contract prior. So people that had oil well IPA in the past, it was being made for us at Bonehook. So now we're actually producing everything in house, and so the oil well IPA that we'll get there now is made right there in house, and we've got an imperial IPA that we just did, a whole new recipe that is actually in our fermenter. So we're hoping to tap this coming weekend.
Awesome.
So yeah.
And as I mentioned, some of the beers that you have there, they're award-winning beers, right? I advertise it as they are, because I know that they are, but I wanted to see if you guys could kind of speak a little bit more to that as well.
Yeah, so we've so our actual beers, the oil well beers, like I said, we're a brand new from a brewing standpoint, so we haven't entered any competitions or anything like that, and haven't won any awards yet with our own beer. But yeah, we frequently showcase beer from some of the local guys that have won state competitions and a couple national competitions, as well as beers from across the country. We've got KBS on draft frequently from Founders Brewing, which is a great beer, won multiple awards. We've had a couple from Point Yubel, and I think even Momentum that we've had that have won some local awards or some other awards around the state. So yeah, like back to the draft lineup changing so frequently, you can always almost count on walking in and having a beer or two that's won something somewhere. So
yeah,
awesome.
Now we did win. I think maybe you were thinking about, we won best beer bar in the entire state of Florida by craftbeer.com 2 years in a row. So we won it in 2019 and 2020. It's been so exciting. The town of Ave Maria is amazing. It's voter based. So we just kind of put it out there and said, hey, do you like coming and hanging out with us? Please vote for us. And we won. We were excited.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I wanted to continue a little bit on the beer before I go into another question that I have. But you know, I've been to Sam Adams in Boston, and I went to Guinness in Ireland, and kind of learned the whole process of brewing beer and all that stuff, right? And you can spend the whole day. But I wanted to see if you could kind of walk me through in a elevator pitch here on, you know, what is the process of, you know, that you guys do it at very quickly at your location.
Yeah, the process of brewing, or the
Brewing.
yeah. So we well, like I said, those places that you've been to and seen the brewing operation, we're just like that, only on a much smaller scale. We've got a 3-barrel brewing system, a 2-vessel brewing system. We've got a hot and cold liquor tank, and we've got a 2 3-barrel fermenters and 1 large 6-barrel fermenter, and we've got a bright tank. So we basically get our ingredients, we mash in, boil our beer, pitch our yeast, and, you know, get it in the fermenter, pitch our yeast, and then hop, and then depending on the style of beer, things like that, our chiller will run our temperatures down in our fermenters to get it to the temperature it needs to be to properly ferment. And you know, a few weeks later, you got a beer. Then we've got a kegging operation. We got a keg washing machine, so we make sure all our kegs are clean and sanitized. We then load them up. We got a scale, so we make sure we're getting the right amount of yield in all of our kegs, and fill them up. We've got a cold beer storage back in our brew house, and whenever we're ready for a keg over in the brewery side, we transport them over, and we're good to go. So it's kind of the same exact operation you'd see at any of those places, just like I said, on a much smaller scale.
Awesome.
We probably should have been at the brewery when doing this interview, but we're at my in-laws beach house. So we decided we didn't want to leave early, and we were going to stay and just do the interview here. So
awesome. Well, the other question, you know, I wanted to ask is who does the tasting, man? Is it you or?
For sure.
Yeah.
Everybody has. There's a couple of friends that always make sure they get a taste. Definitely me, who carries our brewer, and Dave Altamore is his assistant. 2 very good friends of mine live right there in town, and so they brew the beer, and then we definitely, when it gets to the right age and it's at the right place, we got that little tasting port on our fermenter, and we'll definitely sample some.
Awesome. Yeah, well, then he's got my phone number now, so if you know, one of those guys aren't available, you know, I'm not too far off. So.
Absolutely.
But you know, the next question I wanted to ask you guys was in regards to Ave Maria. So obviously, it's a nice little town, you know, and I wanted to see if you guys that live now there and moved there could kind of speak to Ave Maria a little bit more too.
Yeah, it's a great town. I think there's probably around 5,000 residents, and that doesn't include the university students at Ave Maria University. It's just so unique because it's just a great mixture of people. I believe that they're very family oriented. They came there, you know, from Miami or Fort Lauderdale or even Naples, just to kind of get out a little bit where there's not so much traffic, and you know, just somewhere where they can go and escape probably the season of Naples, because, you know, that's always difficult, but it's great. There's everything that you could possibly need in Ave Maria. We have our grocery store, we have a doctor's office, a dentist office, a veterinarian clinic, a dog groomer. I mean, the list goes on, and it's amazing, and we're happy that we started our business there, especially during these times with COVID-19. It's been a blessing to live there.
Great people.
And I was gonna say, where you guys are located too is like you have to drive by you to get home, right? Most of the time, you're right on the entrance. So I'm sure people on the way home will stop and have a beer before they home, right? Absolutely. So you're definitely in a good location for business right there, right? So
yeah.
I wanted to kind of move on and ask you guys, you know, we started talking about, you know, you mentioned a little bit with the current situation that we're facing. You know, COVID-19 has affected a lot of people, you know, and obviously that's why I'm doing these videos here. And a lot of the businesses that I talked to, people also said that this was also a good time to kind of stop and see how you were doing things and perhaps, improve upon some things or change some things that you were doing before. So they're trying to see the bright side of the whole situation, right? I wanted to ask you guys, how has COVID-19 affected you guys, bothly from a financial standpoint, but also from an operational standpoint as well?
You
Yeah,
want to do it?
yeah. I mean, from a operational standpoint, obviously tremendously. I mean, and obviously financially, it's been kind of in waves from the financial standpoint. But yeah, operationally, I mean, we were a full tap room. We operated. We looked and felt like in any other craft beer tap room. Brewery tap room, seating available, restaurant style seating, bar, full bar, all that stuff. So. Obviously, when COVID hit and they shut down the bars, we'd actually just brewed our first batch of beer on March 15th, and they shut us down on March 17th.
Yeah.
So, and we'd just gone operational with our brewery. So that was very difficult. So we immediately had to move all our furniture. So we've got 2 licenses. We've got our manufacturing license for the brewery side. We've also got a 2 COP, which is a retail license to sell packaged goods. And we've also got a crowler machine. So we got I don't know if you're familiar with the crowler machine, but it's basically the big 32-ounce cans. We can can it's a canning machine basically, and we can can anything we have on draft and seal it up with a pop top lid and everything, so you can take fresh craft, draft beer home straight out of the tap. So we were able to use that and operate under our package license, move the furniture out of our main room over to the brewery side, and literally just acted like an ABC Liquors or a Total Wine or something like that. People would come in, grab their 6-pack to go, and go out the door. A good friend of ours, Allison,
yeah.
She suggested a boozing. So when it first happened, the first week or two, it was rough. It really was. I mean, obviously that's our primary sales are draft sales in-house, people sitting and enjoying themselves and having a few beers. So yeah, it definitely hurt the first week or two. And then our friend Allison suggested this boozing thing, kind of like a Secret Santa for beer. That friends would, she had said, make up a flyer, have friends come in and, they get, somebody buys a beer for somebody else and you hand them a flyer. It says you've been boozed, and they get this free crowler, that they get to take home and enjoy. And then it says, pass it along. So anyway, we started that and it just blew up, went like wildfire. And,
thank you, Allison. I see you're watching. And actually she made the flyer for me even. I didn't even have to do that. So it was amazing. But one day we even had 60 deliveries. I mean, it skyrocketed.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was amazing. I mean, it was such a blessing. That definitely turned things around. And so that was kind of cruising along for a little bit, and then they allowed the restaurants to open at 25% capacity with outdoor seating and everything. And but they didn't change anything to our operation. So bars and tap rooms still remained under the same restrictions. So when that happened, it was like an instant just plummet. We had a very difficult about a week and a half or so after that happened, because the need to, nobody was staying at home. I mean, people wanted to get, scratch that itch and go out and visit restaurants. They could sit at bars at restaurants that had bars and things like that. And they could, so it kind of, they weren't coming into package type stores at that time, just at least in our area, in our experience, and it just totally dropped off. So ourselves, we wrote some letters to our local representatives, Senator Kathleen, or is it Kathleen Passidomo? Senator Passidomo. The governor, did everything we could. I knew all the other breweries in the area were doing the same thing. We sent emails out to our friends and asked them to send the governor emails. And luckily, a couple of the bigger breweries in town, Momentum Brewhouse and Fort Myers Brewing, was able to make some inroads through that route and get a hold of the governor's office through the Florida Brewers Guild, and got word that they were going to allow us to follow in line with the restaurants with the same restrictions. So we were able to open at 25 and 50% capacity and allow seating as long as the food truck's on site.
Right.
So that was, again, a game changer. So then we went from being down in the dumps there for a little while to things are picking back up. I mean, definitely, obviously, it's not, 100%, normal. And it's still affected us, obviously, from a financial standpoint. But we're staying afloat, and riding it out and doing all right now.
Trying different things, we're really big with having events at Oil Well. So we started doing like live bingo. We did like a virtual happy hour. You got to think outside the box during these kind of times and try to make people have a good time still, even though they can't sit and enjoy Oil Well's atmosphere. So
Yeah, and so it sounds like that it's similar to what other people have told me, that you kind of had to reinvent certain things and come up with a little bit outside of the box to still kind of be able to operate, right? So,
And
and my next question was going to be exactly in regards to the events, because you know I've been there a couple of times. I think one of the few times I have, it was doing an event, and I wanted to see what you guys do, you know, normally do throughout the year. I know you always have food trucks there. Follow you guys all over social media, and you're always posting about, you know, different events. So I kind of wanted to see if you can cover a little bit of that as well.
yeah, we do several different events. We always have like an 80s party usually. We have karaoke, bingo once a month. We have a brew club meeting. We have food trucks every night that we're open, even more so now, you know, and it's nice to work with the local food trucks. I know you had Julie and Ray on from Jubins. We love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We get hanger management, Taco Tummy. I mean, you name it. Right now we have Martin Fierro. They're fantastic. They actually have a restaurant in Naples, and now
yeah.
they have a food truck. So, you know, it's just helping each other out and putting these events together. Live music all the time. We have, I can't think of any more, but there's so many. It seems like so long ago that we did these events. Yeah, I can't wait to get back to that one day, hopefully. But yeah. So we always have a calendar on our website that has the different events going on. We're going to try out parking lot bingo, so that it's outside, and you know, you can. Our community has tons of golf carts, so you can pull up in your golf cart or kind of sit a chair out there, and we're just going to do bingo this month in the parking lot and see what happens.
Nice, very nice. Well, guys, I wanted to ask you. You know, people are more interested. People are interested in learning a little bit more about you, and you know, reading, like you said, about the upcoming events and hours of operation. Do you have a website? Are you on social media? Phone numbers that people can reach out?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is easy. It's just www.oilwellcraftbeer.com. Our hours of operation are a little bit unusual. We're actually going to open for the first time on Mondays starting next Monday. So Monday through Thursday, we're doing a 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then Friday, we're going to do a 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then Saturday, we're going to actually do a noon to 9 p.m. And that's just because of the restrictions that we have right now. Normally, our hours are a little bit different, and hopefully, when things go back to normal, we can go back to our normal hours. We will have a food truck on site Monday through Saturday, so that when we are open, you can sit in Oil Well and enjoy a beer. And then we have a Facebook page. That's just Oil Well Craft Beer. We have an Instagram page and a Twitter page. They're all Oil Well. So it's easy to find. And if you have any questions, people can reach out to us during our business hours through our telephone, our Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger. Our phone number is 239-354-4454.
Great. One more question before I let you guys leave a message for the people here. Perhaps you know, I think I know the answer for this one, but I'll ask you guys. Why Oil Well?
why the name?
Name?
Yes.
You should tell
Yeah,
me.
I'll let
He's
you.
better at this.
Yeah, because this is kind of me and my son, but my son came up with the name. We were discussing names, and we liked the idea of a local themed name. And Ave Maria, if anybody that's familiar with Ave Maria, you come into the main entrance from Oil Well Road. So we were trying to think of something that had kind of a local flair to it, but not too local. We wanted something that was also, you know, expandable and things of that nature. And my son just said, call it Oil Well Craft Beer. And I just had this vision of, you know, like an old oil can, like a beer can, like it just seemed to fit. And I just kind of, you know, I started looking at why is Oil Well Road called Oil Well Road, and I looked into the history of it. There was an oil strike back in like the 30s or something in Florida, and it was off of Oil Well Road. That's where the road's named Oil Well Road. And there's a park down Highway 29. If you head down Oil Well Road and south on 29, about 2 miles, there's a park called Oil Well Park, and it's got a derrick that looks just like an oil derrick that looks just like our logo. And saw that park and looked into the history of the area, and then it actually used to be kind of a little bit of an oil boom area. it was just kind of had a neat backstory, and the name fit. I kind of envisioned the logo, and that's kind of how we came up with it. It's
Awesome. Yeah, I picture had. I
Yeah.
picture had something to do with the road, the name of the road, but you gave it a little bit more history to it, which is
Yep.
awesome.
My son gets credited. He's the one that said, "Oh,
True.
Oil Well Craft Beer," and yeah, so that was and that the name sounded cool and the area made sense, so that's kind of where the name came from.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to see if you guys have a message for the people that are watching. I might watch it later. If you want to leave a message for them, either inviting them over or whatever message you want to leave, this is your opportunity to invite people over.
I think we should do that one.
Okay.
I don't know why, but
He's the events person, but I'll give it a shot. So yeah, we just we appreciate. I know we're living in a difficult time right now with the virus and with some of the civil unrest, and it's tough to think about having good times sometimes like now, but sometimes you need that, and I think we're a great place to experience that, and we got a great selection of craft beer. There's always a fun event going on. We provide great customer service. Any fears about the coronavirus, we totally understand that people are worried about it. It's a serious condition, and it's something that's affected everyone in some way, in some capacity. And we're doing everything that we possibly can to make sure that the environment at Oil Well is safe. Our staff are wearing masks. We're sanitizing their bottles of hand sanitizer and spray at every table. We're disinfecting tables as soon as one party leaves before the other party gets there. We've got everything socially distanced, per guidelines apart, everything 6 feet apart, and we're not filling more than 50% capacity, and so doing all we can on that front. And just tell everybody we appreciate your business. Come check us out. It's a fun place. It's a cool beer bar. We've won Best Beer Bar by craftbeer.com, which is one of the biggest publications out there related to craft beer, 2 years in a row, and hopefully we can make it 3.
Yes.
So after we get through this whole year, so yeah, come on out and see us.
Awesome. And before we finish here, we had promised free beer, right? So we can't promise and not give the free beer. So we have to come up with a trivia question here. And the first person that responds via private message here on Instagram to me, I'll let you guys know who it is and who gets the free flight of beer, right? So I don't know. Do you have a trivia question you wanna?
So what I think we should ask, who came up with the name?
All right. So who came up with the Oil Well craft beer name?
Yeah, who decided that? I think that's a good one.
All right. So so tomorrow I'll have this video also on Facebook and on YouTube. If nobody responds to it tonight, then tomorrow when I post it, I'll post the question again. First person to respond gets the free flight of beer at Oil Well. And if you can't finish it, give me a call and I'll be more than glad to help you.
Yeah.
Let me just see. I got a couple of comments and questions here, I think.
Okay.
They're asking, they're saying, what about your new Roughneck program?